Yo, what's good, folks? Welcome back to the Darren Harris program. This is your boy, Darren Harris. Today, we are talking about, I'm just going to say it. Everybody, slow your ass down, man, on the roads. I just got an RV, and people out here speeding around like they Batman and shit. So we're going to be talking about reckless driving and just, you know, where it comes from, why it even happens. But, you know, today I'm going to try to get through it a little quickly. I have some things I need to take care of. I'm going to start with the mental health check, of course. How's your mental health today, folks? I hope it's good. I had yesterday I had my appointment with the psychiatrist, my very first appointment with him, and it was positive. A nice guy. It was telephonic. Actually, it was like a Zoom call. So we didn't get to meet each other, in person, face to face. But we did get a chance to speak face to face, and he was very informative. Told me about some medication, some medication or some medicine options that I might be interested in. I told him I'm really not interested in a lot of medicine or taking medicine because like I said, I'm very particular about what I put in my body. So I don't want to just, have somebody just prescribe me medicine just to prescribe me medicine. It needs to actually do something. So, overall though, the visit actually went very good. They did raise the medication that I am on. They did raise me to the maximum dose as they feel that I would benefit from it. So, So I can tell that things are different. Things are changing. So, I will say that in this case, the medication that I'm on actually is kind of doing what it's supposed to be doing. I've had no side effects from the medication either. So right now I'm okay with it as long as it enables me to function normally. Then hey, I'm going to keep on going with it until I don't have to take it anymore, and I'll just keep going from there. So. But I just want to make sure that everybody's mental health is good and you are in good spirits. If you are not, please go out and seek help. I cannot stress that enough, especially with the climate of things that are happening like now and like in this country, all over the world. It's just, it's the shittiest of shows out here right now. It's just a super shit show. It's politics is crazy. I don't want to get into politics, but it's just a lot going on. So, people, we have a habit of suppressing things, and that's really not good for us. So, I implore you, please, if you're having some sort of issue or somebody that you need to go sit down and talk to, or, do that, let it out. Don't hold it in, because that's how you hurt yourself. So, I just want to make sure everybody's mental health is on up and up, So, I want to go ahead and get into shout outs. I just got one shout out, and it's actually I'll just go ahead and say it. Over this last week, a pretty prominent rapper, up and coming rapper out in Los Angeles, PNB Rock, was shot and killed at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles out in Los Angeles, shot dead. A few minutes earlier, I guess his girlfriend had tweeted that they were enjoying food at this place, and I guess some dudes got the tweet, rolled up on him, and laid him down. So I just want to say, rest in power, my brother, man. I'm sorry. I've only listened to a couple of your tracks, but I did like what I heard, from you. And I'm gonna call for people to get together behind. We need to stop doing this to each other. Why are we doing this? I don't even get it. I don't understand what's so serious that you got to go take somebody else's life. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand why we as a people don't put our foot down. We need to start putting our foot down. You know what I'm saying? We need to start caring. It just seems right now that we really don't care. We hear about it, we cry and we mourn about it, but we never do nothing about it because the shit keeps happening. Nobody's turning nobody in. Nobody tells on nobody. I mean, if say some shit, man. This gang culture or whatever, it don't last forever. And people do crazy shit. Your life expectancy drops through the floor when you into gang culture or whatever it is. I'm not saying that this cat had any gang affiliation, but I'm just saying, a lot of these young cats that's coming up, these rappers, they just ain't got no respect for nothing. Not human life, not they fellow man, not they baby moms, nothing, man. And it's just sad to sit and have to bury another, young black talent, on some senseless nonsense. So, I want to shout you out, brother. Rest in peace. And I want to shout your family out, man. My heart goes out to y'all. And I hope that we get down and find these dudes, whoever was involved. It just seems like anytime something like this happens, they just, all right, well, we ain't ever gonna find out who it is, and they just kind of let it go. We gotta. It happens way too much, and I'm tired of it happening. So, shout out to his family. So I'm gonna switch gears a little bit on some dope shit award. The dope shit award actually today it's great. I enjoy it, but it's been getting a lot of flack on the internet, and I think it's kind of bullshit. I'm gonna say congratulations to Halle Bailey for landing the role as the Little Mermaid, and she is a little black girl. That's right, I said it. She is a little black girl who is the Little Mermaid. She is the live action Little Mermaid. Disney went with the little black girl instead of the little white girl. Now, what's happened on the internet is detestable because ever since this has happened, there's been, racist comment after racist comment after racist comment. The Little Mermaid is white, not black. The Little Mermaid is a fictitious character. Did you hear me? Let me say it again. The Little Mermaid is a fictitious character. She can be whatever they want her to be. It's that simple. Period. And if you don't like it, go watch the fucking original one. Simple as that. Go watch the original Little Mermaid. If it's just ruined your taste for this Disney film, this Disney classic that they've ruined with this little black girl, then take your ass and watch the old one, and we'll enjoy this new one. You know what I'm saying? She's given little black girls hope, and something positive to look at. I saw some Instagram videos, reactions of all the young black girls, all the young little black girls, and how excited and how happy they were that Ariel, the Little Mermaid, was just like they were. And I just thought that was beautiful. Some of them cried, some of them screamed. I just thought that was beautiful. So I just think it's stupid that we are still in this racist holding pattern in this country. It's like people know it's bullshit, but they just perpetuate the bullshit. They just keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? It just really doesn't make much sense to me. I don't understand. I figured it's 2022, we'd be past that. But it just seems like we're still right in the middle of it. What a shame. But victories like this, that's pretty significant. And shout out to Disney. Shout out to Disney for making that bold move and standing by it. You're a shitty company to work for, from what I understand from some people, but that was a pretty dope thing you did. You know what I'm saying? So now if we could just, have all the Marvel movies go back to the original storylines as opposed to some Hollywood bullshit for ratings. But that's another podcast. So Dope Shit Award goes to Halle Bailey. And also, her and her sister, they have a Grammy nominated R&B group. She sings also, so very talented girl. They need to get off her, and the internet is just and that's what it is. People got internet balls. I call it internet balls because these people wouldn't say this shit in these people's face. They really wouldn't. They wouldn't say it in their face. They'd laugh and coo and fake it on up. Because that's what they do. They fake the shit on up. And then they go behind closed doors and they call you all kind of shit. And just put you down because they don't think that you should deserve that shit or that that's their shit. But it's okay for them to take anything from our culture to benefit them to make any. Remember box braids? We put box braids in our head and that shit was ratchet. They put box braids in their hair and that shit is groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad this happened. And I want to see it more. You know what I'm saying? I want to see other movie houses, do things like that. Shake it up a little bit because not for nothing, the world is not just white. There's a lot of other people in it. And we all represent something. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Halle Bailey. What have I been listening to? This is the earbuds I have been listening to. This is what has been bumping through and a lot of you young folks, you ain't gonna get it. I mean, you might get it. Some of you might get it, but you ain't gonna get it. And and it's not really for you. It was actually for me. I was listening to Teddy Pendergrass. Now, if you haven't heard of Teddy Pendergrass, you need to just go ahead and Google him. He was an R&B singer from the 70s and 80s, and I think he made like one album in the 90s or something like that. But I was listening to Teddy Pendergrass, the TP Expanded Edition album, and that, if you're not familiar with it, it's the album that got Love TKO on it, which is my jam, Feel the Fire, which is my other jam, and Let Me Love You, which is my other jam. It's just got, and the rest of the songs on the album is dope too. I mean, it's just a good album. It's an old album, you know what I'm saying? But it's just good quality music. It's back when we sang actual real love songs. It wasn't all about, your fucking crotch. It was about actually being in love and respect. We lost that. And I think that's a lot of what has happened in our music is we have just perpetuated this negative stereotype or this negative stigma around us based on the music, because I'm listening to music in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and we wasn't on it like that. We just wasn't on it like that. But somewhere along the lines, it just got to be less and less popular to be sincere and more popular to just be narcissistic and misogynistic at the same time. I don't know what the fuck happened there. I don't know where that came from. But, I wish we could get back to it. And that's one of the reasons I sit down sometimes and I just kind of turn on the classics because, it is real music. It's real music. It's real heartfelt music. And if you want to feel some R&B, Teddy Pendergrass is one of the dudes to do it. Luther Vandross is another dude, but Teddy Pendergrass is one of them dudes that will just make you feel the song. It just, and you feel it, it definitely invokes emotion. You can tell that this dude is really, really sincere about the music that he's singing. So if you get a chance to listen to the Teddy Pendergrass TP Expanded Edition album, and that is Earbuds for the Week. And I'm going to roll right on to Strain of the Week. This week's Strain of the Week is a strain that I had it before, but I didn't really know much about it. But after I've done a little bit of research on it, I've learned a little bit more about it. It's Cheese Whiz. It's in the cheese family, and the aroma is, of course, it's cheesy. It smells like, cheese. It is a indica dominant hybrid. It is a descendant of the skunk one phenotype. It is dank. It is a dankity. You know what I'm saying? It's dank. If you're hungry, it definitely it will make you eat your ass off. We sat down. My mother made some oxtails with some candied yams, some rice, some collard greens, and some cornbread. And my aunt came over and some friends of the family. She just did it just to do it, just to bring some people together. So we had dinner today, and I'll tell you what, I probably could have. I felt like I was in some sort of eating competition. I mushed that shit down. I don't think there are any candy yams left. If there is, just the juice. I'll go back over tomorrow, see if there's any. If not, I'll drink the juice. I don't care. Maybe make some more candy yams in that juice, because it's just, my mother's, she crazy, she wild with it. So candy yam game is strong. It helped with my back a little bit. Not too much. My back's been hurting a lot lately, but it helped a little bit, but not much. But it did help a lot with the depression and anxiety. Not so much the pain, but more with the depression and anxiety. So I did notice that 1 in the morning kind of helps me to not feel that, like that, like I said, that anxiety. Kind of mellows me out. Like I said, it's an indica, but I take it in conjunction with the medication that I do take, which there is no reaction, and they kind of complement each other. So, the medication I'm taking is, it keeps me up a little bit, while this one kind of takes the edge off and mellows me out. So I do see a change, and I do recognize that these things are working. So, and I do recognize the different attributes of all the different strains that I've talked about. So it's not like I'm just up here, burning and not really learning nothing. I'm actually learning. I'm learning a lot, actually. So, and I hope that you are too. And I hope that I was able to give you a little bit of education on this. So I'm going to take a quick, fast break. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and when I come back, we're going to get into what's popping this week. You're listening to the Darren Harris Podcast.
Let's face it, shopping for a used car isn't always a positive experience, but that is about to change. Honda is bringing the plus side to used car buying with Honda True Used. Shop from a selection of vehicles up to 10 years old. Plus, get a Honda-backed limited warranty and other premium benefits. Learn more online or at your local Honda dealer. And discover the better way to buy used with Honda True Used.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the Darren Harris Podcast. Welcome back to the program, folks. What are we talking today? What's popping this week? Reckless driving is what's popping this week. Reckless driving in America is all of a sudden at epidemic proportions. There's a rise in traffic fatalities, and it's getting out of control. People they don't have any regard for anybody on the road. Everybody out here got a Ferrari, it seems like. I didn't know Ferrari made a pickup truck. I didn't know they made a school bus either. You know what I'm saying? It's just people out here running the streets with no regard for anybody else in the streets. People too concerned about where they're going and what they have to do to be concerned about somebody else in another vehicle. I always say it like this. You could be the nicest person in the world. I don't care how nice you are. You could be, you could be the most super Christian of Christians, but it's until you sit behind the wheel of a car. And most people turn into straight assholes. And it's so in us to be that way. I don't know if it's any other country, but I know here in America, it's just, we're so hostile and nasty and negative to each other. We're just a bunch of negative motherfuckers over here, man. It's so terrible. Everybody always putting you down. It's just, Democrats and Republicans always fighting. It's just so dumb, man. We look stupid. You know what I'm saying? We're arrogant. We're narcissistic. And that's where a lot of it comes from, too. People speed around traffic like they shit don't stink because they think that they're better than everybody. They want to be in front of you. I mean, people speed and literally will almost kill you to be one car length in front of you. And I think that's stupid. I think the penalties need to be harder. It's stupid. You know what I'm saying? It just does not make sense to put your life and other people's lives in jeopardy like that. To get someplace, my solution is this: leave earlier. Simple as that. Leave earlier. Get your ass up and leave the house 10 minutes before. You know what I'm saying? Calm the fuck down out here. You know what I'm saying? Out here killing people. It's crazy. There's some, I think they were saying that Virginia was the worst state for reckless driving. You know what I'm saying? Virginia. And where I live, Florida, they're not off the hook either. They crazy down here too. They're pretty high up on the list. New York and Massachusetts, surprisingly, had the safest. They were the safest places to drive, believe it or not. But places like Florida, Texas, Virginia, of course. People out here, they driving around like I said, like they got a Ferrari. Some people, they wonder, man, is anybody getting in trouble? I mean, I see people speeding around, but I don't see any cops out. Very rarely do I see cops pulling people over. A lot of times I just see them. Man, I've seen people speeding their ass off and a cop sitting back there over in the corner. I don't know if he's doing paperwork or fucking Facebooking. I don't know. But these people are zooming around like they ain't got no care, like they are just above the law. The speed limit in the state of Florida where I live is 70 miles per hour on the interstate. People are doing in excess of 90, 100, 30 miles over the speed limit. Where the fuck are you going? I mean, it's like you got the sweaty boo-boos, man, like you're going to shit all down your leg. I mean, where are you going? And then, you want to get into an accident and then all of a sudden you have nothing to say. You got nothing to say. What can you say? They have, here where I live at, downtown, they have a sign. And to date, to 2022, there's been something like 28 traffic fatalities in this county. Just silly shit. And it's everybody. It's truck drivers. I'm afraid of them things, man. The trucks out there on the road, because they trying to get someplace. They are not concerned with me at all. Some of them are out here, running these roads sleepy, trying to get someplace. It's perilous. It makes me fear for my life. It makes me fear for my mother and my wife and anybody. My father is a driver's or was. He's retired now, but he was a driver's ed teacher. And he made it a point to make sure that we all knew how to drive before we left. Before anything. And he also made sure that we knew, how to drive responsibly. and defensively if need be, but responsibly is the key. It just seems like people get their driver's license and they use that. Once they get it, everything that they learned in driver's ed, they forget and they just go out and do whatever they want because they feel like, they're Superman now. I got a car. I can speed around. I can do what I need to do. Oh, look at my brand new car. I'll tell you what. I watched a movie in high school. It was a driver's ed movie. It was called Signal 30. Man, it was just clip after clip after clip of mangled up dead bodies from traffic fatalities. It's crazy. Just like clip after clip, like an hour and a half of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And after I watched that movie for a short period of time, I was like, fuck it, I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive. I will catch the subway. So it's crazy. I don't know what people, I don't know what people think. I want to know, and that's the thing. I want to know what people are thinking when they're zooming around. What is on their mind? What really causes people to do this? Well, a lot of it is inexperienced drivers. It's peer pressure, especially like young people, like teens, like people who are just getting their license. You just got your license. You are doing it. You are the ones that are doing it. And I think there needs to be more education. There needs to be definitely, I know there's, the permit period, but there needs to be a probationary period also where if, they used to have this little snapshot thing, you driving reckless or la 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 la, that was a good thing because it any little infraction, it would mark off that little infraction. I think it was a progressive thing or something like that, but they were all states, something where it was like a little snapshot, progressive snapshot, where it just was whatever. It took whatever you did in the car. It just took it took data on that, and it could. And I think, like I said, I think that it should be a report card. There should be a driving report card, and if you can't drive or if you're driving around like a maniac, you get your shit suspended, and then you don't drive. I don't know what that looks like, but I think that there definitely needs to be a conversation had about, how to curtail these people from, switching 3 lanes of traffic, just to get a car length in front of you, putting whole families in jeopardy because you're 5 minutes late to work because you stopped at fucking Starbucks. Come on, man. It just doesn't make any sense. People just have no experience out here on the road. They should have more experience, and people, some states, I think sometimes the driving age is a little young. You know what I'm saying? People who are driving when they're 16 years old, that's okay. All right, be careful. It's a weapon. It's a weapon. In certain places, like reckless driving, it could be a felony. People are like, oh, it's not a crime. Yeah, it is a crime. It's a crime, and that could lead to like other crimes, like property damage, vehicular homicide, all kinds of shit, man. Driving around. People just don't understand how quickly it can be taken away from you. My mother, she has a church, and she has a couple of people that were in the church, and we saw them in the church that Sunday. And Monday or Tuesday, they were traveling someplace, and they hit the back of a semi truck going 50 miles an hour. They all survived, but man, they were jacked up, man. And they got saved. They got blessed by the grace of God right there, because not for nothing, You crash into the back of a pickup truck, a semi truck. Usually you underride the truck and, a lot of people get decapitated. That was one of the things in the Signal 30 movie that I saw, was somebody who underrode a semi truck. And people just don't understand how quickly you can run out of space out here. So I think there definitely needs to be, just a better way of policing people who are reckless and jeopardizing people's lives out here on the road every day. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it looks like. And, I hope somebody does, because, it's just been families like my chorus teacher. Everybody loved him. Mr. Norman Choice, I'll never forget him. He's a great dude. He was rear-ended from the back and by a semi-truck, rear-ended in the back, and hit his car so hard that it sent his car off the road into a ditch, up a hill, and into a tree, and it threw him. It slung him out of the front window and killed him. I had another friend named Ann. Her and they went to the store. They went to the store down the street to get a case of beer. They had just got a new car. Well, it was a used car, but it was a Mustang, and the roads were wet. They were coming home, and road lost control. Went off into the ditch and into a tree. Both of them killed instantly. I had another friend, Jay Anderson, in high school. That, he was changing a flat tire, and somebody came along and clipped and killed him. It's painful, but people just don't understand how painful it is when they step behind the wheel of a car and they drive around like they have no regard for anybody else. Every time I get behind the wheel of a car, I have regard for the other drivers. I think about the other drivers. And I'll tell you what, that's some of my anxiety. That's some of the things that I have anxiety with, is just the way it's hard to drive. It's hard to drive, and now I have, we live in a motorhome, we actually live in a motorhome, but the good thing about the motorhome is I set it to like 65. I ain't trying to go too fast. I'll do 60. I don't even care. I'll do 60 on the interstate, however it makes me comfortable, and I'll ride the slow lane, and y'all could go around. You could go around me, because your hurry is not my worry. I ain't sweating you. You know what I'm saying? You can honk at me, and yes, I'm that dude that's holding up traffic. Yes, and I don't care. I'm gonna hold it up because I'm gonna be safe. I don't care how hard you lean and blow on your horn. I don't care. I'm gonna be safe. I'm going to go when I think or I feel that the coast is clear. I'm not going to fucking right turn on red if I don't feel like it. Simple as that. And I don't care who wants to blow their horn and lean on their horn and flip me off and cuss me out. Do all of that. I don't care. I'm going to get there. And you go ahead on and you speed on to your death. So, and me and my wife we saw a dude running around on the Courtney Camel Causeway down in Tampa. This dude jumped his car over the barrier and into the Tampa Bay. Killed himself. Racing. Another car. Racing another car. Lost control. Went over the barrier. Into the water. Never made it out. What a dumbass. And you were just going someplace, huh? You were just going someplace. And now you ain't going no place. Crazy. Doesn't make any sense. Slow it the fuck down, people. Dead ass. Slow it down. Slow it down. Have some regard, man. Have some regard for other people. You know what I'm saying? Have some respect for your fellow man. People got families in their car, whole families in their car. And people zipping around like they ain't got a care in the world. Just so they can be one car length in front of you. So slow it down, folks. I think that is what's popping for this week. I'm going to take another break. When I come back, relationship goals. It's the Darren Harris Podcast.
Stream all episodes of Only Murders in the Building. Seasons 1 and 2 now on Hulu.
Hey folks, welcome back to the program. I hope that you enjoyed the last segment. It was kind of a rant. I just kind of ranted because it's just, we've been getting cut off in traffic all week, me and my wife. We just all week long, just in traffic, just gritting our teeth. But we're going to do a lot less of that. We're going to chill out, relax, and do a lot less stressing. And a lot less stressing. So, relationship goals. On to relationship goals. Last week, we had, the goal was for us to start planning, to plan. And we planned a little bit. We didn't really we got to it, but I had a few appointments this week. Actually, both of us did. We had a lot of appointments this week. So, but she did start making an Excel spreadsheet to kind of chronicle all of our expenses that we are incurring so far in our RV, which is part of the plan. It's part of planning because we're not going to be where we are forever. We've already got our eye on a couple of other sites, a couple other places, a couple other states that we might want to visit here soon. So we're starting to plan our trips and plan our route to get to these places and how long we're going to stay in these places and how much it's going to cost us to get to these places. She's a financial analyst, so she's really good with costing out things and analyzing the budget, which is what she does for a living. So, and she's really good at it. So it's pretty accurate. So, but the plan part of it needs to happen because that's how we move forward. That's how we organize. Now, we are planning to eventually buy a home, but before that, we are planning to maybe try and buy a plot of land and to do some other things on, to maybe build a home on, or either have a business on, or maybe now that we have this RV, a campground doesn't sound so bad either. So maybe we can pull something like that off. But it all comes down to planning. So we are going to get up on the planning horse and continue to plan. Maybe I'll find some publications to help me plan. So that is this week's relationship goal, is the continuation of last week's goal, which is planning for the future. So we're going to continue to do that, and I will keep you abreast of what is going on as far as that is concerned in our relationship. So, and with that being said, I think that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Darren Harris Podcast. I do thank you very much, everyone who listened. I had 300 listeners from what I was told by my producer. I really just kind of do the podcast and keep it pushing, but I want to thank each and every one of you who turned me on, even if you turned me on for a couple of minutes, and didn't like me. I still want to thank you for at least giving me the opportunity, and hopefully maybe one day you'll check back and you will like me. And I also want to thank the people who sit down and listen to the whole podcast, which is, I know sometimes it's a little hard to get through because I babble a lot and I stumble and a lot. But I do want to thank you for tolerating and putting up with that, because it just helps me get better with content and trying to connect with you guys. So it does means a lot to everybody who listen, not just my friends and family, but to the random folks who listen to my podcast about my RV, which I probably will be talking more again about my RV and our adventures next week, because there are some new developments. There are some things that are about to happen. We're about to get some stuff done to it. So I think next week I will get back to our RV. I'm going to try to see if I can get my wife to also join me for the next episode because she's got some cool shit to say too. So, so that I think is going to do it for this week's episode. Again, thank you very much. I would like to thank my wife, as always. She's awesome. I want to thank my best friend, Jesse Yandel, and my producer, Gentry Thomas, for encouraging me and pushing me and also giving me the opportunity to have a forum to give information to or share information with you guys. So thank you very much, all of you folks. So I think that is going to do it for me. I'm going to turn on some Teddy Pendergrass. What time is it? It's 12:30 at night or 12:30 a.m. right now. I think I'm going to turn on some Teddy Pendergrass and go over and tap my wife on the shoulder. So until next week, folks, keep it real, It's the Darren Harris Podcast. Peace.